Load shedding has not just hit consumers hard, businesses have also been crippled as a result of the energy crisis. Some companies have incurred direct financial losses of more than 58 million rand as a result of load shedding over the past 3 months. Big power users, including mining houses, who say load shedding will be the death of the industry, want government to move faster with new self-generation regulations because they no longer want to be under Eskom's mercy. So what happens in the meantime? Well, let's speak to Devan Moonsamy, who is CEO of the ICHAF Training Institute, to thresh this out. Thank you very much for coming.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right, so many businesses have been inconvenienced. How do they navigate around load shedding in as far as getting their financials intact, also keeping up with customer satisfaction and consistent service?
So it's a very good question, and I'm sure lots of South African small business owners, even medium and large business owners, have been asking the same questions. It's reached a crucial stage, and if we're going to address this, I think that most South African organizations need to start with the level of accepting the situation. We're really not going to generate any power by getting angry about the situation at this moment. What we've got to do is accept that we've got to move into a contingency stage. We've got to be able to, from a skills development perspective, upskill our people, have more regular contingencies in place so that we could speak the language of sustainability over the next 10, 12, 18 months to come.
But you know, when you have been hit by load shedding, customers also have their own other plans and they forget about you. So what do you do then as a business person when you need to retain your customers who could possibly be angry because they're no longer getting what they want from your outlet, not because of your own doing, but because of load shedding?
There are two cornerstones when we look at this particular situation at the moment, two cornerstones that are going to ensure that our customers will come back, and that's planning, very strategically planning, and the second one is being upskilled enough to be able to deal with those pressures that the customers will probably be giving us as a result of load shedding. So if we've got proper plans, and there are so many different platforms, and what they've done is they've made it very accessible and readily available for schedules to be at the tip, at the click of a button. We could find that. If those plans are not carefully addressed prior to the schedule actually kicking in, then unfortunately we're not going to be able to satisfy the customer need. The other component is skills development. Training our people effectively so that they have a firm understanding in terms of how to deal with those angry customers, how to be able to accommodate those complaints, and how to be able to put a plan B in place so that the customer does get the product in time. So most South Africans at the moment do realize we've got a problem in the country. It's going to be there for the next 18 months. So at least that component or that area has been spoken to. But what they want from us is that your business is equipped enough with a strategic plan in place and the skill set to accommodate complaining customers.
So when it comes to risk management at another stage, we look at insurance claims for people who sell perishables. What happens in the meantime when you have stocked up, you experience load shedding, and your stock gets rotten or spoiled? And then you have to stock up. You know the inconveniences of the ins and outs of money when it comes to the strategic functions of a recovery from load shedding and getting your business underway. Communication in the meantime with staff and with customers would be problematic.
It would be exceptionally problematic, and what organizations and even small businesses are doing now, they're looking at other ways, working remotely as an example, using WhatsApp, charging their phones fully, accessing emails on mobile devices and tablets as opposed to depending on the traditional outlet for power sources from computers. So working remotely as one option, also being able to envisage in terms of the load shedding schedule, and then also planning your stock rotation accordingly. So we've got to be very mindful that if I'm going to have a very large perishable holding, then that's going to negatively be impacted when a power cut occurs, especially if we look at the shelf life of a product. So every business is different. I mean, we've got hairdressers, you've got people who are selling spaza shops, etc. And every business and every organization needs to structure a strategic plan and a forecast that's suitable for their organization.
So these alternative energy measures of generators as well as solar power, how conversant are businesses, especially the small ones, and do they really embrace that kind of alternative power generation?
Now, we've been doing a lot of business training, specifically in the area of these types of things: contingencies, plans, communication, conflict management. And some of our clients and some of the learners who've been coming into our forums have purchased generators. That's, I would say, reserved for businesses who can afford it. It's not the cheapest thing to be able to bring into your business at the moment. And again, it goes back to finance planning, to be able to forecast and preempt and predict what's going to be happening in the future. I would say if it's not part of your budgeting profile at the moment, try your level best to look at these resources, especially if you are in a butchery, in a perishable, in a bakery, where things are going to be going bad. It could be an investment now, and in the long run, it will bring down your cost, as we've seen the case with some of our entrepreneurs who come into our training programs at the moment.
All right. Thank you very much for making time to speak to us.
You're very welcome, Colin. Thank you.
Well, Devan Moonsamy is CEO of the ICHAF Training Institute, talking to us about contingency measures for small businesses during load shedding. We take a break and we'll be back in the next hour with more business news. Stay with us.